not every rising, not every awakened Kundalini leads to its goal as a given. This is another, if you will, part where a lot of New Age stuff, full of confusing informations, that Kundalini is the intelligence itself, and as long as Kundalini is awakened, then it's guaranteed that it does what needs to be done, it knows what to do, and because it's the power of intelligence itself, and one will just need to, fasten the seatbelt until one arrives at the desired destination. The reason why not all risings lead to the same goal is simply because not all of them proceed equally through the same pathways of energy. And the content of this particular discussion is not allow us to go into minute details of these processes, but suffice to say is that only ascent through Sushumna and through its principal pathways that leads to the desired destination, union with the higher center in the Sahasrara, from where the process can then take different variations. Again, this is not part of our discussion today, but even within the Sushumna channel, I will single that one out. There is so-called Vajranadi, and the Vajranadi moves from the second chakra up to the plateau, but below the plateau, exemplified by the pineal gland, but it does not go beyond. It doesn't give access to the highest abode, and therefore it is agitated and moves only within these parameters. The Vajranadi is associated with the activity of sexual enjoyment and sexual pleasure, and it is always activated whenever we get aroused sexually. So in other words, Vajranadi is already active in, I would say, 99.9% of human beings. Vajranadi is active in most human beings who are sexually active. Therefore, there is nothing to be activated in that nadi. And yet, it's very often that Kundalini chooses that pathway from the place of the Svadhisthana, the chakra associated with the watery realm, and it goes all the way to the head, but not beyond the plateau. It meets the obstruction literally and impenetrable, because that nadi terminates there. That nadi does not have another pathway of energy. So therefore it's forced to go down, just as in every sexual act. But of course, it gives all the paraphernalia of a true spiritual experience. And the people who walk around considering themselves enlightened, just as sexual intercourse can give that flavor of bliss, beatitude, trepidation, ecstasy, everything. Orgasm itself can be very close in its display with spiritual ecstasy, because it's the same force, just played at the different poles of its extreme. And yet, that's not the path, even within the Sushumna, that leads to the union of opposites here. And I'm not even talking about the pathways that are peripheral to the Sushumna, this so-called completely undesirable ascents in either of the channels, in either of the Saraswati channel or the Lakshmi channel, let alone any of the channels associated with Ida or Pingala. So this is why not every rising leads to its goal, simply because Kundalini is not automatically rises in Sushumna. there are many cases today, especially among the folks who wake up out of the blue with no spiritual preparation, with no vehicle as the instrumentality of the human body being prepared in any way, then the likelihood of the nervous system and all the aforementioned pathways of energy are being clogged, waxed. At times we speak about it in terms of being waxed. So all this stuff needs to be molten out of the system, dissolved. And until that happens, it will keep doing this ascends in inappropriate manner. So therefore, Kundalini rising, it's a science, a profound science in its own way, in its own right. And we speak about it at this introductory level, we feel is fitting to mention, so that there are no assumptions made, and so that there is no also speculations in terms of the verticality of that process.